What we're seeing across this country is a showdown between hatred and intolerance, and then the open embracing of diversity. So California and Jerry Brown have taken a step, sending a clear message to Texas and other states that these discriminatory laws against the LGBT community will not be welcomed, and that there'll be a defense of all communities who are under attack, whether it's LGBT people, the Muslim community, or others. Well, things seem to be escalating right now in a war of words between the conservative forces and California. These forces who claim to be pro-life and pro-family are the very conservative forces who every day get behind the death penalty, which mostly leads to executions of black and brown lives and poor people. We see greater austerity measures and cuts to jobs and college programs, which are a lifeline for working communities across this country. So I think this showdown really exposes the hypocrisy of this conservative rhetoric about being pro-life and pro-family. It's precisely that, and it's significant that this is all playing out today. Just below me in this studio, 2 million people are marching down Fifth Ave to the Stonewall Inn to celebrate LGBT Pride Day and the diversity of the rainbow community. And what we see are these Fortune 500 corporations trying to endorse this parade and hijack it as though they somehow carry the rainbow flag, when the only color that they care about is green. So we do see a greater polarization every day in this country between those who try to cash in and profit off of people's identities and struggles, and the very communities who've been hit very hard by this hateful, anti-LGBT, Islamophobic, really anti-people austerity measures and hateful laws spearheaded by Trump and his regime. They could certainly try to retaliate against California, but California is correct to point out the absolute hypocrisy of Texas's law that discriminates against LGBT couples who are not allowed to adopt out of foster care when there's so many young children who are in need. So we could see an escalation, a back and forth. This is really a showdown between conservative and more open forces across this country, and right now it's playing out with this showdown between California and Texas. Well, I don't know if it's come yet to a California secession from the U.S., but it brings up an interesting question about states' rights, because historically we've seen states' rights as a major bone of contention where white supremacist and reactionary forces have tried to get out of federal legislation so they can discriminate against communities. But in the case of California, California is more to the left of the Trump agenda, of the nation, and they're really leading the way with New York State for a single-payer health care bill, making health care universal for everybody. So right now, California is one of the more progressive states in this country, though I don't think it's quite yet at an actual secession.